Hey guys, so today I thought that I would bring you swatches and a try on of the new Natasha Denona Retro Palette. This palette retails for $65. I picked mine up at Sephora. As always, I will leave the link below, but if you guys are curious about the formulation, the color story, and my thoughts of this new palette, then just keep watching. Okay, so the actual palette looks like this. It's the same as their other Midi palettes. For size comparison, here is their larger palette. This one is the Tropic palette, and then here is their little 5-pan palette. The Midi palette is somewhere in between these two. So for comparison, this is the size difference, and inside the pan size is also quite different. Same with the other smaller palettes, the pan size is smaller, which honestly is fine because I rarely go through an entire Natasha Denona pan. So for reference, that is what the sizing looks like of this palette. It's not as large as this, not as small as this. The color story is very pretty. They went with more like mauve-y shades. Now I don't have the mini retro palette to compare to, but from what I've seen, they don't look very similar. There's like a gray green in there. There's like a peach tone. In here, they're pretty much all mauves, berries, pinks, and browns. This is pretty much the range of color you're gonna get in here. Now, I did try the last Natasha Denona Midi palette, that small one. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was just too much going on for me and I couldn't make any look work. They all ended up looking muddy or the colors were competing. At least with a palette like this, the colors are not going to be competing. They should all go together. So let me tell you a little bit about the formulation of these shadows. So in here, it looks like we're going to get a combination of mattes, cream to matte, cream to powder formulas, some metallics, and then some of these like lid toppers. Very, very exciting. So why don't I go ahead and start with some swatches so you guys can see what we're working with here. So here is the first row. I'll just go across here. This first one is like a duochrome. This one's glitz. This one was a cream to powder. This one is Andy. This one was a metallic. This one's Jude. And Mod, which felt like a creamy matte. The next four, we have another cream to powder. This one is Vivienne, which is really pretty. Next row, we have Groove, which is a creamy matte. Nice burgundy shade. We have another cream to powder. This one is Apart. And then we have like a crystal topper one. This one is Psychedelic. Next four, we have Go-Go, which is a cream to powder. We have Patty, which is a cream to powder. Next, we have Swing, which is a metallic purple. Then we have Nude Mauve, which is a creamy matte. And then the final three, we have Rebellion, which is a cream to powder. Then we have Hello, which is a metallic brown with like a bit of rose in it. And then finally we have Amara, which is a creamy matte. As you can see, they all swatch really well. I have no gripes or complaints about her formulation, whether they're her matte powders, her metallics, her cream to powder, her lid toppers. They're all beautiful. She's definitely improved them over the years. I know with the Star palette, I had some issues with the chunky glitters being too chunky and flaking all over the place. But these look quite nice. They are still a bit on the chunky side, so I'd probably recommend using like a tacky base or a glitter glue or something like that. But as of right now, I like the color story. I feel like you can get like a warm look with these. You can get a neutral look with this brown, and this one down here, you can go purple. There's a couple purples. You can go red, you can go pink. Now, I'm not sure how similar it is to her other pinky purple ones, so why don't I pull those out for comparison as well? So give me just a second. All right, so the first one I thought that it might be similar to is the Love palette. But as you can see, they are pretty different. This is like an amped up version of the Retro palette. This one's more mauve berry. This one's definitely like fuchsia, red, and bright purple. So if you like the brighter shades, I'd say you'd probably like this one. If you're going for a more mauve or neutral look, then you'd probably like this one. And then the Lila palette, which does have more mauve-y shades in it. Again, it's a larger palette to begin with, but it also has the brighter pinks, the brighter metallic purples. It even has some more like orangey bronze shades, and then it goes with like a deep brown. So I'd say this is probably the closer one of all of her palettes, but still not the same. And then the Glam palette, which is more like taupey colored, doesn't have any of the warm pinky purple tones that this one does. So again, quite different. So I would say this is a quite unique color story from her other palettes, but are there other palettes on the market that have similar mauve-y berry tones? Definitely, but I have to say that Natasha's formula is one of the best shadow formulas. So in my opinion, it is worth the $65 just for the formula alone. Now, I haven't tried any of these on the eyes. I don't know if I like the color story on the eyes yet, so why don't we get to playing with some shadow? I'm gonna start off with Maud, this kind of nudie pink shade, just to create like a clean canvas on the lids here. Ooh, that's pretty. That's a beautiful brightening shade. Did you see how bright my eyes got? I might even put that under the eyes, wow. Wide Awake. I think I want to go into Vivienne up here in the crease. And I believe this one is one of the cream to powder formulas, so I wonder how it will work with a brush. Okay, it's showing up lightly. Okay, not enough, so I'm gonna go in with Go-Go right here, which I believe is another cream to powder. I'm gonna use my finger here. One thing I've learned is that with her metallics and her cream to powder, the finger is honestly the best tool to apply these shadows because they are so creamy. The brush just kind of like fluffs them. And then I think I want to go right in with Andy, which is the second shade. This is the mauve shade. That's a fun combination. And then I really want to try Glitz, which is this pinky gold shade on the top. That's fun. Then I'm going to take like my more concentrated brush, and I think I'm going to go into Amara over here, of that color in the corner. Okay, I feel like I need to go a little bit deeper. So I'm going to grab this brush and go in with Groove right here. Yeah, I need a little bit of like color depth there. So that's the look for now. I'm going to finish up the other eye real quick because I do have to work in about 10 minutes. So I'll be right back. This is the eye look before I add mascara. I went ahead and used a little bit of these deep shades along the lash line. I went ahead and put Psychedelic right on the inner corners, and I believe I showed you everything else that I used. So I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shades out of this palette just on this one eye look, and I do think it looks really pretty. I haven't added any mascara yet, but it isn't too red, it isn't too purple. I think it'll look really nice with a nice coating of mascara, so I'm going to do that, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay guys, I went ahead and applied the Benefit Their Real Magnet Mascara. I'm trying to give this one a second chance. Before it did smudge to my lower lash line, but I do really like the way this looks on my lower lashes. My top lashes, not so much. I have other ones that I think I prefer a little bit more, like the Bambi and the Holy Lash one. But I'm trying it because other people have said they really, really liked it. So this is the finished look. Once I have mascara on, I feel like everything changes. I do really like this look. I think it's really a really flattering color story for green eyes. My eyes shift gray, blue, green. So this makes them look very green right now, which is really fun. So I like this palette so far. This is only my first try, first impressions. The swatches were beautiful. The pigmentation was beautiful. Blendability, very easy. I think I'm gonna like this one. It's not like a right off the bat, I think I'm gonna return it situation. I like it so far, but I'm gonna continue to play with it. I think tomorrow I'm gonna stay away from these like super shiny toppers, and I'm gonna try some of the metallics in here. Maybe I'll go a little bit more towards the neutral side and see what we can come up with, and I will post clips of the looks that I come up with throughout the week as I'm continuing to play with this. So stay tuned for more looks using this palette and a wrap up in about a week or so. So see you in a bit. So I went ahead and changed up the original look by adding more purple and some purple shimmer to the lid. I think this is really pretty, and I added more of that psychedelic color to just the inner part. And I think I like this even more than that like pinky gold shadow topper look I had originally. Okay, so this is the second look I've created using the Natasha Denona Midi Retro Palette. I went more with the brown and like tan shades today, so I used the matte shade in the crease, the kind of deep brown shade on the outer corner, and then the like shimmery brown shade on the lid, and then the baby white on the inner corner of the eyes. I like the way this turned out today, so far we are 2 for 2. Liking the palette. Stay tuned for more looks. Okay guys, so today is the 4th or 5th time I've played with this palette. You can see that I went with like light shimmery shades on the lid, matte purple look in the crease, and then along the lash line I went with like the matte burgundy and the deep purple shades, and I really like this look. So after trying this palette for 4 or 5 days, I have to say I do like it. I've liked every look I've created. It really makes my eyes pop. So this is not a repeat of the Zendo palette. I do like this one. I do plan to keep it. So I just wanted to give you guys my final thoughts on this one. It's a thumbs up from me, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on my next one. Bye guys.